nobody else is going to do this groundwork. If you really want to be an entrepreneur, if you really want to have a business up and running, nobody else is going to do this groundwork. It's up to you to do the research and to find the right people to help you. We're not saying you got to do it alone. You never do anything alone. It's up to you to find the right people around you. It's up to you to educate yourself and to continually learn.
There is a way. Believe me, we've done it. We've been wishing. We've been, there's many nights that we didn't want to come in the morning where, we thought our businesses was going to fall apart, but then it slowly starts kicking in. Belief is such a huge thing in this. And I'm going to talk to you guys about that later on, how belief could actually change your whole life. Your perception is what changes your genetics. It's not the other way around.
You are listening to Behind the Strength podcast
with Carlo Balagase
and Christian Alvarez. And today we're going to be talking about the newborn stage and the 3 aspects that will forever make up your business. They are:
number 1, financials; number 2, marketing; and number 3, operations.
So we're going to start off today talking a little bit about financials, especially when you first start a business or when you're first starting your business. Now, when you first open up your doors, you've got clientele starting to come in, your name's starting to get out there. We're talking very brand new, within the first year or so. Is this the time for me to get my Mercedes-Benz?
It really depends on the stage of your business, and also, actually, the most important thing, where you wanted the business to go initially.
Okay.
I think that's very important.
Very, very important.
So this is talking about cash flow versus profits.
Right. So Can we explain the difference between cash flow and profit to begin with?
Okay, cash flow is pretty much the flow of money in and out of your business, right? And it's very important because this is actually going to be your fuel for your business. Money in versus money out. And we don't want to go too technical here because we could go really deep on this. So you have to imagine it's just like working out, right? The calories in versus calories out. So the more money your business makes, the health is dependent on how much it spends. So that's, your marketing, the lights, your rent, your people, all that stuff. So, and the thing is, it's not enough just to make $1 million and your expenses every month are $1.2 million.
$1 million.
Yeah, so
you're definitely losing out there. You're going to be in the negative by the end of it.
And the important thing too is when your cash comes in and when your cash comes out, right? So a lot of people think, it's a huge thing is timing. A lot of people just look at, we're making $100,000 this month. Okay, but that's going to come in next month because you sold it this month, and your bills are coming, before the end of the month. So that's an important thing too. Timing and cash flow, timing of the cash coming in and timing of cash going out is very important.
You have to understand that, when you do bill something out or invoice something, for a lot of you in the service industry, it could be net 7 days, it could be net 10 days, it could be net 30 days, some longer, especially if you're dealing with insurance companies in the health industry. That could be, net 60 days plus. So the balance of your account of what you spend on a regular daily basis, your bills, and when I say your bills, I'm not talking about your personal bills, I'm talking about your actual financial bills for your business, as well as what is coming into your account on a daily basis. They have to even out. You don't want to be in that red. Now, the more intelligent person is not going to take that profit and go buy themselves a brand new vehicle or a brand new house. What they will opt to do is actually put that money back into the business. So let's talk a little bit about that, because we've been doing that for years and years and years.
In all honesty, when we started this business, we were making $200 bi-weekly in the second year. Maybe the first year we were throwing all the money back into the business. And a lot of times, maybe the business would pay for our lunches and stuff like that. Our lunches, by the way, would be tuna cans and brown rice, and dollar rice. That shit. We still eat that.
Still
shit.
do it.
We never took money from the business because we knew, first of all, what we started off with our business is equipment that was donated to us. Really, our dumbbell racks went up to 25 pounds in the set.
Yeah, and we had a home gym rack donated by a friend's father at the time.
So pretty much, you're like a modern day basement today or a condo studio had more equipment than we did.
Yes.
So we knew that we had to work with what we got, and we had a vision of what we wanted to start adding to the business to help make it grow. So to create a better experience. So what we did was we decided anything that we made. We decided this is how much we could each kind of live off of. Anything that we made, we put it back into paying down some credit card debt or even investing in other things.
So a lot of what we were doing was actually, especially in the early stages of the business before we had clientele, was literally revolving debt around our credit cards and our accounts. So whenever we do come across money or a paycheck from, an old job from before, well, you pay that right down to your credit card only to max it out to get material for the new place.
Which, by the way, is really dangerous. So
don't do that.
I mean, if you have to, do it, but you have to be a master at managing that stuff. I mean, our credit was really bad because of that before.
Yeah.
Because we would use credit cards to pay other credit cards to pay other credit cards, and maintain that. Okay, it's June. It's the mid-June. I have to pay this credit card bill. Let's pay that. So that's a very stressful way of living. Back in the day, we were very ignorant on that stuff, and there's way more new things that's available for entrepreneurs.
You were also young and very uneducated about it. It's your duty as an entrepreneur to know every part of business. And I'm not talking about just your business. I'm talking about business in general, running a business. So I want to go back to what we were talking about as far as investing everything back into the business. When we say that, we're talking about, you don't buy this brand new friggin' TV in your gym studio that you're gonna play a couple rolls of music videos and whatever. And you want to invest back into the company, into actually stuff that will grow the company.
What are stuff that will grow the company?
So, okay, for example, there's a big growth opportunity that we had, in our early stages, where a space was offered to us. And the landlord had said, hey, listen, you could do something like group classes in that studio. So we said, you know what? Why don't we actually, instead of just keeping that as is and just keeping the business that we are, why don't we actually integrate a therapy into our business? Now we could offer that space as our therapy section for massages, physio, chiro, because they go right hand in hand with fitness.
Yeah, so we invested, I think how much was that? Caesar, do you remember how much that was? Caesar right here.
Caesar right here.
He's the guy we called to when we got the opportunity, and he became our partner.
Clinical director. You'll see him featured in another episode. He hung up the phone on me.
So
twice.
He was this close to losing that opportunity anyway. But how much was that whole build out, the initial one, do you think? Like less than 20 G's? Yeah, about 15 G's.
15
so I want you guys to realize this: 15 G's is not enough to build a real clinic, especially that type of clinic. We're very handy. Like I'm very handy. These guys helped out a lot.
We're not very handy.
It's okay.
But we helped out.
Muscle works too.
Muscle works too.
So we call up our friends, like, okay, guys, we're gonna build a clinic. We need all hands on deck. A few people showed up, Byron, Jeff, and all them, John. So a few boys did it. So what we did, we took the money, we bought the supplies at Home Depot.
We were training clients early morning, 5 a.m. to like 10.
Yeah.
Then we make a run to Home Depot, grab all the material we need, and literally work till midnight building by hand that facility.
Yeah, and work through Christmas too.
Work through Christmases and New Year's. Yeah. And that went on for years and years. Honestly, for the first 4 or 5 years we did that.
But the first one was 2012, right? Around before 2012.
The Christmas of 2011 is when it first happened.
Yeah.
And then we just got used to doing construction every Christmas. So we literally gave up like 5 Christmases to expand every year.
I hated Christmases.
But now we enjoy it with the people around us and with our team, because, oh man, it is such a blessed thing to have everybody around and to see that, hey, we built this thing together, right? So
we took the 15 G's. We scaled down. We couldn't afford contractors, so we did it ourselves.
We're
fortunate enough to kind of make it work. The place looked okay. It wasn't perfect, but I think the theme of Strength in You when it was built is like, hey, don't worry about what the place looks like. Worry about how we're going to make you feel. And I think that, and we never left us.
That. So if you ask the regular person, it's literally about the energy in here that is transferred from person to person. And that starts from our team members. If they come in loving their work or loving their job and not seeing their job as just simple work, and they put meaning into actually what they do on a regular basis, which is what we actually try to instill in them, that comes off. And that comes off huge. And you could literally see a person's face light up the moment you see them, and you call out their name in the day and say, hey man, how are you doing? Hey Declan, how you doing today? Hey Rico, how are you today?
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And you're looking good there, Mary. It does something. It's a great positive transfer of energy. There's a huge difference, and please, if you do not know now, it's your duty to know
Mm-hmm.
What is good debt and what is bad debt?
Good debt is pretty much, when you borrow from a bank, for instance, and say there's, 10%, 6% for it, doesn't really matter, right? You take that money if you borrow $10,000, for instance, and there's 10% on it. You invest that into growth, so something that in the future that's going to make you more than that 10% back, or even double your money, right? For instance, the rooms, the clinic that we put into it. Yes, we use our credit cards and stuff like that, but the income that we made from that
Was
over
able
time,
to,
overshadowed multiplied
yes,
that. So
multiplied.
that is, it's not like we went to Home Depot, bought plants and stuff like that, and the plants never got us money. Especially, I'm talking about business-wise, right?
Yes.
Bad debt would have been, taking that $15,000 and,
Getting a new car.
getting a new car, or getting, super big screen TVs.
Yeah, and like flashing them
and
everywhere.
flashy stuff in the clinic at that time.
We didn't
right?
need anything fancy. And,
No.
and we
functional,
didn't need
functional.
We had a functional space, we had a functional business, and that's what we based ourselves on. No, service first. I mean, that will overshadow a lot of things in your starting stages. Right?
Technologies too. If this technology that you invest in, for instance, if you're developing an app that helps your business run efficiently, that you could cut down maybe 20% expenses.
Yes.
That's an investment, right? And if obviously there's interest on that debt if you're not borrowing for somebody else.
Every single day, know your financials. This is going to be essential from day one to day none of the existence of your business. The only other way you're going to get clientele, and the only way you're going to actually bring attention to your business, is through marketing.
So marketing is pretty much your ability to display your company, your services that you offer, your ideologies, and all that stuff. So your ability to get your name out in the marketplace, right? And a lot of times people think social media is that, like, especially these days. It's not. Marketing is the best form of marketing is providing the absolute best service and experience ever. For us, what we always say, the moment that somebody steps in here, we touch somebody, whether physically making them better or emotionally making them better, mentally making them better, that's marketing, because now they're going to tell people about it. Even if they can't afford it or the timing isn't right, they're going to tell people about it. The energy transfers significantly.
It's that connection you make with people that you do business with, whether it's person to person or business to business. It's the connection essentially is what where the good word starts to spread. Yeah. And now, especially with all forms of social media these days, it's so easy for you to build your name on a good positive note, but even that much easier for somebody to say, I had a bad experience there, and gone are about 1,000 other people.
We had $2,000, about $2,100, $2,200, and we had 3 weeks left to pay our rent and expenses.
So the street team, we had paid $2,400, and how much money did we get back out of that?
Nothing. I mean, this is part of this is a time in the business where we first started. I think we had barely any. The clinic wasn't even around there.
No.
We only had like not even 20 clients.
Yeah.
Group class clients and PT clients. So we're very, very, very early on in the business.
Yeah.
And we were like everybody else. We're like, okay, cool, marketing. Okay, this is what we have to do for marketing. Because we saw all the other gyms do that for their marketing campaigns, right?
Yes.
Extreme Fitness used to do that. Remember that?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
We're like, okay, maybe this works. But we realized quickly that it didn't. So after that, we kind of decided to not be ignorant about marketing and really study it way more. Learn it as much as possible. That's where we kind of stumbled upon guerrilla marketing.
Marketing and social media
marketing. Yeah, so understanding all these things, and not kind of using that as the base of your business. You have to use marketing as an accelerator to your business. Don't use that as a blanket thing, because that's what I've noticed with a lot of businesses. They're investing more on marketing and not really, their business isn't ready for the influx, or their business isn't even ready to service properly. So I think that's one magical thing that we kind of did was, we were investing slowly in marketing, but we were investing way more time and effort into providing a great experience.
1,000%.
And then when we were ready to market heavily, we were able to now, our system was way better. Now we could handle all these people. People were actually bringing service on time properly. They were getting a great experience. And that kind of accelerated people, talking about us, giving us some great reviews authentically. So if we were just to, back in the day, just pour all our money into marketing and everything was chaotic, the growth would severely not happen, right?
For sure, because you don't have any organization in the business, right? You have to know your demographic, your target market,
Who are you
your
selling
niche
to?
market.
Yeah.
Who are you selling to, and who is buying your product?
Yep.
Right? More importantly as well is what are they saying about your product? So once you get to know those things, and it's gonna hurt sometimes. You're gonna hear a lot of stuff that you don't think that you're not gonna agree with. That may hurt you a little bit. Listen, there's nothing like having this big dream, goals and whatever, and you're believing in yourself and you're hyped about this, and you've got the momentum going, only to be knocked by your social realm, your friends, your other naysayers around you, and you're gonna go through that. But you have to learn, as we said yesterday, to filter out what is. If your clients are telling you or giving you positive feedback about something, or a constructive feedback, then you have to listen. So knowing your market and knowing who your clients are is going to be essential before you even start to market.
Yeah, I think that's a basis before you even do anything. Understand the pulse of your clientele and understand what they like, what they don't like, and who they are. Right? Sometimes we put out stuff that, okay, we think this is going to be our clientele, and that was totally different, right?
Because if you're trying to speak your language to someone that's not hearing it, you're wasting your time, and you're going to be wasting a lot of money. And believe us when we say that this happens so often, especially in young companies, that this actually breaks them.
If you think you're going to be selling to everybody, you're going to be selling to nobody, and that is very important to understand.
Listen, when we first started, we thought we're like SNU is for everybody. Yeah. And we got that totally wrong. First of all, our first days of classes were totally ridiculous and just off the chart hard and just ridiculous. So there was a lot of people that were very intimidated by that. And they said that's only for professional level, high level people, athletes, whatnot. And so we lost a lot of potential people that could have been coming in. And then back then we're like, oh, we're going to market to kids. We're going to get kids. We're going to get older adults. We're going to get, people who are young adults and teenagers. Now we have all those markets, but we had to start with our general market that we knew we had already.
Yeah.
And then from there, so we knew our market right away was the young professional, anywhere from the early 20s to your mid 30s. And that's where we actually started to grow this business from, because we were around that age when we started, in our late 20s, mid 20s, and so
we could relate to that market.
We could relate to it, and a lot of people can relate to us, our character, our personality, and the fitness industry. And through the years, because of therapy, then we get a little bit of a different clientele, ones that are looking more for holistic and wellness.
Yep.
A little bit of an older clientele there, and then we started producing a lot more services for children, doing team workouts and group workouts and sports programs. So that's how we've built. But essentially, guys, you have to know who you are trying to get your product into, right? Or where you're trying to sell this product.
Yeah, and a big lesson was that when we first started, we tried the Zumba thing and we tried the yoga thing.
Oh man, we thought we knew it all. We're like, our business for everybody. We can do anything.
Yeah, man. And then
we can do anything.
I still remember that conversation. I was sitting there, and our Zumba was actually got busy. And then we sat down and we're like, man, what kind of business do we want, man? Like, do we want to be like everybody else that, we're trying to offer all these services, or do we want to be known for what we do? And if we're going to fail, we're going to fail doing what we do. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And
definitely.
then, so that's when we realized, like, let's cut this. Who cares?
We really, the big thing is, guys, especially in your early stages, define what you really do. And we're not talking about have this great written mission statement. No, define what the fuck you do. What kind of service do you provide? How you're going to provide it, and to who you're going to provide it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And this is essentially what we're talking about today. Because now, when you go to market, when we say go to market, when you put your product or your service out there, you'll know the different ways of getting out there. Right. So let's touch base quickly. Define a cold lead.
A cold lead is pretty much somebody who has no interest in your thing, like
no idea of your business,
or no idea that they even have that problem.
Yeah,
right?
That they have that problem, that you can solve their problem.
A warm lead is pretty much someone who has identified that there is a problem, not necessarily your solution for it, but like, hey, I think I'm overweight.
Yes.
I feel fat right now.
So right now they're still kind of searching around the market, finding their solution.
Yes.
Now, a hot lead is somebody that knows about your product. You may have come in contact with them somehow, some way, and maybe not in person, but they've seen you at seen an ad. They've had a person tell them about it, and now they're interested. That's a hot lead. So know the three differences and know at what point, at what stage any of those people are at when you are dealing with them.
Yes.
It is very, very important to know that when you are offering a service or a product, you're doing one thing and you are solving somebody else's problem. You're providing a solution to somebody else's problem. We're in the fitness industry. We solve the problem of, hey, I weigh too much, I gotta lose weight. I don't weigh enough, I gotta gain some strength.
The only thing that slows down or increases your marketing is your ability to service your clientele.
Amen to that.
Right?
So don't waste your money on shit you can't track. Don't.
Yeah. If that's why when people always come to me, it's funny when you start a business, there's so many people come out of the woodwork to give you advice on how you should do things, but they have no fucking idea.
Exactly.
That, or they've never put up their money to ever be, in danger to do these things.
Yeah, for sure.
These strategies. Oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Hey, guess what? We spent a lot of fucking money, and we did that, and it didn't work.
Yep.
And I don't like sleeping at night not understanding what my ROI on my investment is, right?
So we're gonna touch base on the last part here, and this is very, very important, and it's your operations and your HR. So essentially, they're all tied in, and this simply covers all the grounds, from the way your business functions to your systems and processes. If you have none, get some. Believe me, develop it very early on. Write it down, train your people on it. Yeah. And obviously the HR part, because you want to have the right. Not only when we say HR, our basis of HR, our human resources, is literally right fit, right culture, right people. Yep. Right attitude. That's it. First and foremost, obviously hiring is a big thing, Carlo. So where do you even start when we're looking for hiring? Like when we're like, how do I know if it's a right staff member, if it's a right fit?
Well, first and foremost, what I look for, or what any company should look for, is the person passionate about the job that they're doing, right?
Yes.
You could teach, certain skills or strategies. You cannot teach passion. If this person is here strictly just for a paycheck or strictly to be affiliated with the company because for some reason the company's hype at the moment or whatever, that's going to end real quick and in a real disaster.
I tell you a real story. From all my years and almost 2 decades of this industry, and also I was in retail management for quite a bit of time, I have taught hundreds and hundreds of people sales, training, and just training and development in general. And let me tell you, the ones who ever became successful, you want somebody that wants to show up early, that wants to be the last one to leave, that's going to dig deeper into your lessons, that when you're not here or when they're at home, are they searching stuff up?
There's a difference between the person who works at Nike because they just want the discount, or the person who works at Nike because they believe in the brand and they're a serious shoe head.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or a serious athlete.
Yeah, serious athlete, or they believe in what Nike stands for.
Who do you think sells more? You know what I mean?
1000%, man.
Because now they could relate. They love that environment. They love athletes. Like, oh, what are you doing this for? Why are you buying this shoe? Oh, no, man, you want this shoe. Dude, you want this shoe. Trust me, because of this, this, and this, and this.
I could honestly say all our team members that we have on staff are all very passionate about the industry that they're in, and all the more as well as our brand and what we do. It's the buy-in that you have to get. So before you even think of getting the right fit, I think taking a step back, you need to have a certain culture that you want to have in your company. So that starts within yourself as the entrepreneur or as the people starting your business. You guys got to lay out exactly. Do this as an exercise. Lay out exactly. If you had an ideal staff member or people around you, even people around you, how would they be like? What would their attitude be like coming into the day and all through to the day to the end of the night? How do they look like? How do they present themselves? What are they like? What are their attributes? And how do they mesh with yours? Those are things that you need to ask yourselves and really lay that out, because if you don't lay that out, you're going to get a lot of people crisscrossing in and out of your business. And believe me, the more time wasted on training people who aren't going to last and the more turnover, the more it's costing you time and money in your business.
A good book to read up on that it's called Tribal Leadership. Actually,
Oh, beautiful book.
There's certain levels of leadership within each people.
5 levels, right?
5 levels, yeah. And there's certain identifiers in their characteristics, and you can start identifying these kind of which level each team member or even people in your life are at. And it's very interesting, and it actually hit home a while ago. If you're an entrepreneur, make sure you read. Another good book on how to establish your kind of structure and understanding how to run a business, working on the business versus in the business, is The E-Myth from Mike Gerber. That's a great book if you're starting off in the business. I read that book before we even start this business. I read that book when I was an engineer, so I stumbled upon it because I was interested in, why do most entrepreneurs fail? And a huge one is that they're not real entrepreneurs. They're the skilled person. So
They're
understanding,
skilled people,
understanding
guys.
that your level of knowledge and operation has to supersede the amount of skill you have in that one thing.
You could be a great trainer, you could be a great electrician. Doesn't mean you're going to be a great entrepreneur if you don't own in on those skills. The next thing is actually creating the systems and processes of your business.
Yeah.
So when we say systems and processes, there's a difference between a ma and pa and a corporation, because with a corporation, their systems process can be multiplied 10 times over, which means it is running and functional without the actual people who started the business. And this comes from here's a process engineer right there, engineer right there. So you can speak a little bit more on the system and process.
A big business is just a small business that succeeded over time.
Amen.
So when you're a small business, everybody's wearing all the hats. Like me and him, we wore all the hats. We were the accountants, we were the cleaners, we were everything.
Yeah.
Marketers, we were pretty much every single
trainers,
thing.
yep.
We answered phones, we cleaned toilets, we trained, we did everything. We built the facility. And over time, as you start, again, once you start accumulating more cash into the business, now you can invest in people, right? So the biggest thing that you have to do is to understand, whatever skill you have, say you're a trainer, what do you do that's so good that, that people keep coming back? And you really have to be a master at identifying and stepping out of yourself and seeing yourself in the third person and be like, okay, I do this, and this real well. And then you systemize that. So that's why I always tell people, especially entrepreneurs, if you have no idea, if you haven't done that position or done that job before, you are going to get fucked.
You have to know every aspect of your business in and out. Nobody can ever cheat you out of your money when you pay somebody else to do those jobs.
And because it's your business, you found the most efficient, effective way to do it, and that way you always operate lean. You already cut the fat of time wasted, right? So, and that's a very important thing that when you analyze a business, this inefficiency is so profound sometimes that it costs you so much money, but you can't see it. You analyze it, and also it helps your people not be frustrated. If you give them a better way to do things all the time, they'll be less stressed. And that way you could actually connect with them and they could understand, like, okay, shoot, this guy or this girl knows and could be empathetic to what's happening to me at this moment. And that's important.
Think about your business as a big, complicated piece of machine. And every piece has its complicated moving part. Now, you have to have a system and a process to every one of those moving parts, and what happens when something breaks down, what happens when somebody calls in sick, what happens if the building came down, what happens if somebody gets hurt. Those are all things that are covered in systems and processes.
As an entrepreneur, yes or no, you are so stressed out all the time. You feel like you're wearing so many hats. You feel like everything's happening all the time. There's so many things that you got to do. Your to-do list, your task list is 20 pages long per day. This right here, if you want to totally abolish that, you have to start establishing your systems and processes, or you will start digging your early grave, man. It's so stressful. We've been through it. We found a way to get out of it, but it takes time and patience and really like zoning in on that moment, zoning in on this task to automate and systemize everything. It's going to be hard. It's going to be so much work at first, but then that's going to allow you to do more and more, and that's how you start significantly scaling your business.
Essentially, what you're looking to do is to create a repeatable system that delivers consistent results, not just results, consistent results. Because if it delivers results once, it is not a system. But if it continues to deliver results, as our track record will tell you, now that's a system.
Yeah, and it's actually easier than you think. I know there's a lot of things that we just said right now, but believe me, it's easier than you think. It just, everything's a lot stacked on top of each other. So you have to think about 5% efficiency over time. Your business is going to significantly be different than if you weren't always effective, right? And always look too. You always have to, have an overview of how your system is currently doing all the time. It's not, oh yeah, I'm going to automate it and put my feet up, right? We always look at how to make things better.
And folks, you have to look at it this way. This system processing we're speaking about isn't just so your facility can open every single day and run, and it's just for your clients. It starts with your team.
Yep.
You have to have a systemized approach and a process to everything your team does, from your meetings to the things that need to happen administratively, the things that need to happen on the back end. Those things all need to align. And the easiest way to do that is if you take your early stages of your business and literally find the most efficient way of achieving consistent results. And that's creating a system and a process.
All right.
So we're going to finish this off with a little bit of a mindset and motivational piece. Carlo, what would you like to leave off with today for these guys? So we covered so much about financials, marketing, and operations.
Yeah.
What is the best thing, if you leave it out for a paragraph or a sentence, what would you tell people about this stuff?
The difference between chaos and music is the organization of sound, okay? So the difference between chaos in your business and having a nice, efficient business is the organization of it. You don't know what you don't know. So the more you dig deep into it and into establishing these strategies, the more efficient and more effective that you will become. You just need to give yourself the time, take the effort right now instead of going out and falling into the trap of trying to celebrate your mini wins with people and drinking all the time and people persuading you that you should buy Rolexes and buy nice cars. Take the time to be efficient in your business, man. Invest in your business, invest in your knowledge base, and then you could start putting all these things and slowly relaxing a little bit, right? Never taking your foot off the pedal, but now you could relax a little bit and the stress will start reducing. There is a way, believe me, we've done it, we've been in the shit, we've been, there's many nights that we fucking didn't want to come in the morning where, we thought our businesses was going to fall apart, but then it slowly starts kicking in. Belief is such a huge thing in this. And I'm going to talk to you guys about that later on, how belief could actually change your whole life. Your perception is what changes your genetics. It's not the other way around.
Remember that nobody else is going to do this groundwork. If you really want to be an entrepreneur, if you really want to have a business up and running, nobody else is going to do this groundwork. It's up to you to do the research and to find the right people to help you. We're not saying you got to do it alone. You never do anything alone. It's up to you to find the right people around you. It's up to you to educate yourself and to continually learn. And again, there's nothing to it but to do it. Ronnie just said it best, guys.
Yep.
Nike says it, just do it.
Just do it, man.
You just have to do this. All the stuff that we're talking to you about, if you're not doing, if you're listening to this right now, that means obviously there's something in your life that you have a goal for. It may not necessarily be to open a business, but you have a goal somewhere. And if you don't do the things that we're telling you to do right now, believe me, that goal is not getting anywhere.
This is the Behind the Strength podcast. I'm Carlo Balagase.
I'm Christian Alvarez.
Thank you for watching. And by the way, if you found this very helpful, make sure you share it with your friends, tag people in it, spread the word. I mean, this is free. We're actually spending money to do this. We're not making any money off of it.
Subscribe.
So subscribe to this, share it with as many people as you can that you feel that would be very helpful to, okay? So thank you very much for spending your time with us. I hope you learned something. And to episode 3. All right.
Have a powerful day, guys.
Cheers.
Take care.